Once again, welcome back to the plot. Okay, right, well, good afternoon everybody. Once again, welcome back to the plot. As you know, I'm down home. I thought I'd start the video off down here, get this little grapevine of mine tackled and get it all strapped up and ready for putting on some premium growth in the summer. Just enjoying the back garden here. Of course, the delphiniums always put up spectacular show. What I've been doing this morning, I've been cleaning all my patio down. Get some give all the stones that are really good washing down. So it's all nice and clean. The wife's baskets are all out, and of course the xanthadashas, they're all out in full bloom. The nice big white calla lilies, absolutely gorgeous, and they're all foxgloves. As I say, quite an easy perennial to sow from seed, no problem. We'll do all that later. For the time being, I'm just going to pop out in the back here and get it all set up, and hopefully get this grapevine cleaned down and pruned. I've done one side. I'm just going to try and put the camera on there without having to shut it down. Because normally what happens is it goes all the way. Right, well, you can see the grapevine here. I've just started on this side, and what I've done, I've put 3 big canes in. I've got 4 wires stretching across here, and I've got the lowest branch on the bottom here. If you can see it, that's the lowest branch, and I've got exactly the same on this side. I've got the lowest branch tied down. And what I've done, I've taken out 1, 2, 3 shoots here, and the middle one I'm running up this cane here. And what will happen next is I'll bend it there, and that'll go along that wire. So I've got one that wire, and then it'll break away there, it'll branch there, and then that'll go up to there. And once again next year I'll be able to take one off there, and farther up the following year take one up there. So the idea being, by the end of next year I should have 4, 8 and 1 centre strut, 8 canes. So that's 8 rods. And off them 8 rods I should be able to crop 4, 8, 16, 32 bunches of grapes in the 3rd year or the 4th year. We'll not be taking anything at all off it this year. You may get some little premature bunches. I'll always keep an eye open for it. If there is, I'll cut them off, because this is only a 2nd year. So what we want to do this year, we want to build it up so it's nice and strong. Get all the side shoots tied in, and then hopefully it'll produce grapes next year for its 3rd year. And then the 4th year we'll have all the shoots tied in, and you'll have a cracking crop. I'm just going to look for the secateurs I've put down somewhere. And of course I'm always looking around for the, if I can get myself comfortable on my knee, I'll be okay. So here we are, we've got a side shoot coming off there from the bottom, which is absolutely no good whatsoever. So I'm taking that one out. This one here, I know you might think it's a waste, but if they're not going to serve any purpose, you might as well take them out. You probably end up stripping about 80% of the bush down just to get your frame that you want. So there's the lower leaf on that one. There's the second branch there on the other side. I'll leave that along. I'm going to take that one out there. That's doing exactly nothing. And we'll up. What I want now is a branch that's going to run parallel with this cane here. That looks like a nice big strong one there. So we'll probably keep that one and take that one out. Just that lower leaf off. Take that one away. Now there's a main branch coming up here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut, this is the old branch here, that's the old rod of last year, And what I was doing, I was training that, and the new growth come on the top there, but it's really spindly. And just down below there, it's broke away again, and it's a much stronger cane, which I'm going to use for the. What's happened? It's getting itself behind that wire, so I'm just going to gently tease that out, and I'm going to use that one there for the main frame. So if I take that one back out again, there's the section there where we'll cut that off and cut it there. Some of the string is really, that's why I like to use the string. You can get there's the rod there, the old rod. You can see by the brown wood, and it's actually got buds all the way up it, but it was a bit spindly, so I've taken that one out, and I'm using that one that's come farther down from there, and that's a lovely little strong little rod there, so I'll use that for the centre rod. We'll take that farther up, and now when that splits next year, we'll run that either side of there. It's quite an easy job to do, not difficult. I'm going to take that one out there. Just take them couple of leaves off. That side shoot there, take him off. That one there, take him off. That one there. I know you think it's a. I'll take that rod off and all, and what I'll do is, there we are, there's the side shoot there that I was talking about, so I'm just going to take that down to there, put that little clip on, and now we have two side shoots. We've got that one to run up there, and we've got one centre one to run up there. So that to me is absolutely spot on. I'm just going to tie this one in, and what we'll do, once again, where it's nice and soft there, it's nice and pliable, I'll just tie it loosely here, and then I'll be able to turn it along this wire. So as always with string, I like to put one turn around the rod or around the cane, and then just lightly tie it. Not too much, because you can always take these off later on. Make sure the rods are well tied in, nice and tight. Just going to run that string through that hook there, once around the cane, so it stops it from slipping. Tie that in, nice and tight. And there we have it. Spot on that, I'm well pleased with that. So that's now tied in there. I'm just going to put a light tire on that middle main runner there, just to stop it from going anywhere. As I say once again, wrap out once on the cane, and then just lightly round the rod or the side branch. You can always cut these tires later on when the rod starts thickening up. You can always take these tires off, and there we have it. First class vine. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got five possible rods. Well, these, as they grow on, as it gets a little bit slacker, I'll just run it along this wire here. Don't need anything else. We've got the bottom one running along there. We've got the middle side shoot running up, which will in turn break away, and we'll get 2 side shoots off there. And then next year it'll go right at the top. So we'll have 4, and one at the centre. We'll have 9 rods. And for 9 rods you'll get pounds and pounds of fruit. As I showed you on the other video, it's completely different to growing in the greenhouse, because the greenhouse, they just go berserk. The amount of thousands of side shoots that are throughout. So you've got to be really heavy-handed with these. You've got to keep going through them, cutting off them side shoots, because at the end of the day, it's the expense of the fruit. You're not going to get a decent crop if you don't cut them side shoots away. Keep them well back to your rod. Well, I'll keep you updated on this as we go by, as the months go by. It's had plenty of feed in it. It's got some bloodfish and bone last week, and then they just get a light tomato feed, maybe just once a week. You don't need to put too much feed on these, because you've got no fruit, so just be careful what you're using to feed them with. A light nitrogen or a mixed balanced feed, not a high potash one, because reason being, you haven't got any fruit on this, so you don't need the potash to feed the fruit. you just want to feed the cane, so a lightly balanced feed will do for that. Grow more, anything like that, you know, just put a sprinkler that on. Bloodfish and bone I like to use. There's umpteen different ones on the market, but as long as you keep it just nice and healthy, well fed, and of course well sprayed, because the aphids love the vines, green fly and whatnot. So I just like to give it a soapy water spray, maybe it's once a week. If I need to put a bit of rhubarb juice in, just to spray it with that, and it'll keep it really healthy. But I'm well pleased with that, and that's just showing you how to train your vine. And of course, once that centre gets up the top there, that's it, it'll be chopped, it'll not go any farther than that. So all you're feeding is the 4 8 rods in your centre rod, and you'll get umpteen bunches of fruit on there, way over the top of what any family will need. But what I'm going to do now is get myself up the plot, because one of the main jobs I need to get done this week, we'll probably start off from rope here, is to start covering the tomatoes. I've got 5-6 bags of really good rotted leaves that were collected last year in the autumn. It's a free harvest. We go around the streets where there's a couple of big trees just across the road there, and sweep all the leaves up, rake them up and bag them up in the black bags, and just let them sit best part of the year, and then nice and well rotted by the time we use them in June and July. So that's what we'll be doing when we get up there. We'll do a bit TLC on the tomatoes, and of course give them a good covering with leaf mould. But I'll explain all that when we get up there. As I say, that's me rod down home, the outside one. It's on the west facing wall, and it's absolutely thriving. Just wait until next year. I'll only allow the first 2 sets here to fruit. Probably be two bunches on each one, so I'll get 4 bunches next year quite easily, maybe even 6 bunches, depends on how strong it grows and how well it performs over the winter. What I might do is just put a small net over the top here and drape it down here for the winter, just to keep any snow or heavy frost on it, and that's all that'll get. It'll stop outside, and hopefully it'll romp away and we'll get some nice fruit for next year. But as I say, gardening's not a quick fix. You do jobs this year for hopefully get some nice productive fruit and veg for next year. And that's what it's all about. Training your plant, getting it nice and sturdy, really good balanced frame, and you'll reap the rewards in years to come. Okay, so I'll get myself up the plot and we'll get started on some tomatoes, okay? Okay, right. Well, couldn't have picked a better day after the last few days. As I say, from trying to get up the last couple of days, it's been absolutely blown a gale. So it does play havoc with the volume on the camera, on the phone. So I've had to put it off all of this week. I think from Thursday last week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday, it was windy, and so I just had to keep putting off and putting off and putting off. But of course, today it's now 4:30 and the sun's decided to come out. It's absolutely baking in here. But it's one of the jobs I've got to get started on. I've been putting it off for a couple of weeks now. So now's the time to get cracking on. As you can see, the tomato plants are absolutely fantastic. Romped away, lovely big trusses there. And what I like to do is I like to take the bottom leaves off, take them right off, because they're no good to me. Right up till the first truss. That's them off, that's the bottom leaves off. No good, getting to one side. And as I say, right up to the first truss. We've got the first tire on there, so I'm happy with that. But what I want to do is concentrate on the roots. And of course, best way to do that, it's just been well weeded out. Roger went right through them the other day, getting them all weeded out. And of course, with tomatoes, you just got to keep an eye on the suckers and the side shoots that keep coming through. But keep nipping them off. Once again, there's a couple of flags on the bottom here. Take them off. So you've got a nice clear stem up to the first truss here. The leaves on the top are the solar panels, so I never bother with them. I always leave them just up to the first truss. That means I've got plenty of room to work underneath the actual plant itself. And of course, the best thing in the world, and if you remember last year, we're going around and we're collecting all the leaves. and it's absolutely fantastic now. It's just like emptying a bag of peat out. And of course the only trouble with leaves is you always get all sorts of bits of rubbish at you and this. But I just like to go through them, pick it all out, and there we have it. That's the leaves off last year. They're absolutely beautiful. And they just go right around the plants, just a light covering all over. I've got about 6 bags there, so no doubt I'll get quite far with this. As I say, once again, just picking all the bits of rubbish out. And that's one bag. That's put. I like to put I've got to watch for the weedy hoses. I like to put a good covering around the roots. And of course, it's doing 3 things for your tomatoes. The first one, it's giving you a covering across the soil and it's keeping the weeds down. The second one is keeping the moisture in. You're having that good covering, say putting a mulch across, and when it's watered, that water's stopping in there because your layer of leaves on the top is going to keep that moisture underneath. So that's 2 things. And the third thing, of course, it's going to boost your soil in the wind. Leaf mould is fantastic for putting some good body into your soil. When it rots down, it's just like peat, absolutely fantastic. So it really helps your soil out. So as I say, 3 good uses of it. And of course, in the autumn time, we like nothing better than get a trolley out, take a half dozen bags with you, and you can be out for half an hour to an hour at the most, and you can fill yourself 6 bags of really good leaf mould. And of course, we always like to do it on a moist, wet day when the leaves are not soaking wet, not pouring down with rain, but they're moist. That way, when you bag them up, you put your foot in a bag and really press them in a nice, good, heavy bag. Tie the bag, bring them to the plot here, and they just sit up in the top corner for 6 to 8 months, and that's the result of them. So what we'll do, we'll go right down these beds. This bed's absolutely full of tomatoes. We've got 3 different kinds. We've got the giant orange at the back there, we've got cherry in the middle, we've got some cherry down the bottom, and I think we've got some money maker at the front and some small cherry at the bottom. So we've got 3 different kinds in here. The far greenhouse, we've got about 12 in there. We've got some Shirley in there, and then the top 2 big glass houses at the top, we have money maker in them too. So we've got plenty of tomatoes this year, but we really like to take care of them. And as I say, just looking at that, it's an absolute cracker. First class plant. It's got 1, 2, it's on its 3rd truss here now. It's absolutely rumped away. It's got a nice solid base on it. And of course, with the weedy hoses, I can just turn them on the night, leave them, come back in the morning, and this bed will be nice and soaked. It'll just drip feed them all night long. That's why I like to come up a bit later every night time. If there's nobody using a hose, I'll put my hose on, they'll just drip away all night. If anybody does come, then they'll know the weedy hoses are on, they'll take mine off and make sure that I put it back on, so it just runs away all night. When you've got big polytunnels like this, there's nothing worse than having to water them by hand. So the drip hoses are ideal. I'll come in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning first thing, turn them off before anybody else gets here and wants a hose, and they'll be well soaked. So as I say, the plants will romp away. But what I'll do is I'll concentrate over the next couple of hours, barrel a few of them bags of leaves down, and get them spread right over the whole bed, and they're lovely for it. And of course, now that the fruit's on there, there's plenty of good fruit that you can start feeding them. There's umpteen things you can use. What you need is a good high potash concentrate on your feed. So tumorite, we use comfrey in the water, plenty of comfrey in, and it turns the water black. Like when that'll barrel, it stinks, but that's nitrogen. And of course, now that they're wanting the potash, a good feed of comfrey water will be spot on. I've just noticed that plant here at the side there, there's a ginormous sucker coming from the bottom, so rather than pull it off, snip it off for the second side of that. I've just noticed that. I'll go to one side, and of course what we have got, we've got some empty muck bins because we've been busy emptying some of the muck out from 18 months ago, and there's some absolutely lovely stuff. I've had to make a couple of mixes up for some late plants that my sister had ordered, and I potted them up. but I've made some couple of good mixes up with it. So it's absolutely first class stuff. But our muck bins is one of the main feeds for all our beds. Good homemade compost, you can't beat it. I'm just watching the sparrows just flying around in here. This afternoon I was pulling some weeds out in the big greenhouse, and it's full of frogs. Little tiny little frogs, they're jumping all over, so just as well the missus wasn't up, she'd been having a heart attack by now. But nice and damp in there for them, nice and moist, nice and warm, and the frogs love it, of course. Just let them get on with it, because they keep the pests down, that's the main thing. Okay, so that's what tomatoes sorted. I hope I've been a little bit of help to you with the grapevines. The grapevines in here are romping away in the big greenhouse, absolutely jumping up. So what I'm going to do is, unfortunately, down at the bottom of this tunnel here, there's a cherry tree that I planted 3 years ago. Now I should have had fruit in it by now. It should have fruited this year, but it hasn't. We've got a little bit of blossom on it earlier on in the season, and then it just died off. I don't know. It can't be because it's not getting pollinated, because there's a mesh door at the bottom, and all the tomatoes get pollinated. So I cannot see how the cherry tree isn't. It's I've looked at it, and it doesn't need a pollinator. So I'm in two minds whether to just let it grow on for another year, because it's really taking up a lot of room down that bottom end there. So I might have to end up just chopping it out and be done with it. I've got cherry trees outside, which have been fertilised, and they've got loads of fruit on. But that one, for some reason, I don't know what's happened with it. So rather than fill up all that space at the bottom of the tunnel, I may just cut it out and cut my losses and put another grapevine in its place. I did buy a grapevine. I sent away for one last year, a giant black one. So I've got that one down there. I've put it in just in the border for the time being, and what I was attempting to do was to just let it grow, not do any cutting on it whatsoever this year, just let it grow out like me bush down home. It was just let it grow like that, and what I'll do at the end of the year, I'll cut all the side shoots off it when they're dry, and I can use them as cuttings. So out of that grapevine, I'm hoping to get about 10 side shoots cuttings for next year, and that I can give away, because it's a really fantastic grape, that one. Really big grapes, and a seedless. So, but that's going to be another 2 years before that even thinks about fruiting. But I can get cuttings off it, that's the main thing. I get more plants from it. You know me, I always try and expand me expand my stock. But no doubt I'll do something with this year. But yeah, tomatoes are fantastic. They're just romping away. I'm really chuffed with them. As I say, there's some brilliant ones here. The ones that's outstanding is the ones in the middle, and they're the Shirley Toms. They're absolutely first class. I haven't grown Shirley for quite a few years, but I thought this year I sent it away. And of course, if it's seeds you're worrying about, the price of seed, if you just want the basics, I use Seed Direct on online, and that's absolutely marvellous. No fancy frills, no packaging, anything, just a plastic bag with a name on. That's it. That's all you pay for. But you get a good quality seed, and at a reasonable price. That's the main thing. I do like to use my other seed merchants for different things, but when you're wanting in bulk, I was looking at the Shirley seed, and they were £3 and £4 for 30 seed. I wanted quite a few of them this year, so I got double my amount for about £2 off Seed Direct. So I was over the moon, and of course they've grown away first class, so I'm over the moon. Okay, so I'm going to crack on here. I'm going to get a few bags of compost down, leaf mould, and get it spread out. I'll just go through each plant one at a time, cutting all the bottom leaves off up to the first truss, and then go across and spread out the leaf mould right across. And then when I go home at night, turn the tap on and just let it drip away all night, nice and so when I come in the morning, it should all be nice and moist. But that's it for this one. As I say, I hope I've been a bit of help with the grapevines for you. They needed a lot of work, but once you get on top of them, they're fantastic. They're easy enough to control, and that's the whole idea of controlling them. Because if you don't, they'll romp away, and they'll just grow away wildly. So you've got to keep them well tied back, and you've got to keep them well pruned back. But after that, you get a worthwhile crop for the work I put into it. Okay, so if you can't wait for the vids, like I always say, get on my Facebook page. It's Jeff Foreman on the Plot, and you can send a friend's request. You know, we'll get you signed up, and you can speak with through the week. I'm on most nights on the computer, doing bits and bobs, and I always like to try and post with what's coming up in the following week. We've got lots to do up the top garden. We've got the peppers not to clean up and start spraying and feeding, so we might have a look at the peppers next week. And of course, I'll get the peach trees. We've had a load of peaches off there over the last couple of days. Fantastic. Strawberries are coming on really well. So you know, we're not doing too bad for this time of the year. I've had a disaster in the polytunnel next door. The cherry toms want water for a few days, and of course they've just really dried up, and it's just one of them places that we'll forget about in the melon house. If the door's shut and you're busy with flying backwards and forwards, and I'm trying to get them back to, bring them back to life with a bit TLC. If I can't, well, it's just one of them crops. I was picking from them last year in the first week in June, but there's only a couple of little orange ones coming on in this year, so we're about 3 weeks behind at least. You wouldn't think it now, sun blazing over in the west, but it's absolutely red hot here. So I'm not going to stop in here for too long. Get these couple of little jobs done, and I'm way home. Okay, so once again, thanks for watching, and catch you up on next week's vid, and we'll show you what we're doing. Okay, bye for now.